Mechanical watchmaking has changed. In fact, it's been changing since the 70s. As a response to the quartz revolution, which deemed mechanical timekeeping obsolete, at least to a large extent, the first evolution we saw was with the integrated bracelet steel watch. No evolution in the movement, no significant jump in precision timekeeping. It was all about the form, the aesthetics. Even the word in-house didn't exist back then because brands were working in a collaborative fashion, resulting in brands like JLC supplying movements to the likes of Patek Philippe and AP. But design has been that one point of distinction, that one constant that solidified the end of one era and the start of another. What I admire about Max Büsser, the founder of MB&F, is that he is one of those living revolutionists who interprets the modern mechanical watch in a very different way than the rest. Different by actually celebrating not some 150-year-old design legacy, but by celebrating the very heart of mechanical timekeeping, the balance wheel. If he were to stop there, that would have been enough to create a unique identity for his brand, but he kept going by designing wristwatches that look like anything but a wristwatch. And to top it all off, his quirky watches are engineered by some of the greatest living watchmakers and designers of our time. Stephen McDonald, Eric Giroux, and Kari Voutilainen, to name a few. And this collaborative approach is what forms MB&F's core philosophy. Think of it as a conceptual horological lab where the greatest minds of our time come together to create the most unpredictable mechanical machines. Take this HM10 Bulldog, for example. Conceptualized by Max as are most of his wild ideas, the watch was then designed by Eric Giroux and both looks and wears like nothing else from when it was first released in 2020. Grade 5 titanium case measuring 54 by 45 millimeters across with a maximum height of the two highly domed sapphire crystals peaking at 24 millimeters. Now this may sound insanely big, but here it is on my 6.2-inch Asian wrist. And one of the main reasons why it sits so well even on smaller wrists is because of the articulating lugs that conform to the wrist. Essentially, it's a fun little pup, complete with 4 legs, eyes, and a mouth, which is actually the most fun way of displaying a power reserve complication. But the main show of this watch, besides the case shape and the finishing and the movement, is the oversized 14mm balance wheel, proudly situated above everything else, with the escape wheel visibly sending impulses to the balance wheel as a result of the energy transfer from the mainspring underneath. The manual wind in-house Bulldog caliber has been designed to fit and work exclusively in the Bulldog case, making it highly complex with over 300 components and 34 jewels. The movement beats at 2.5 Hz, offering 45 hours of power reserve from a single barrel. Usually I complain when I see modern watches with under 50 hours of power reserve, but if this was mine, and I really wish it was, I'd want to spend as much time as possible engaging with this watch every chance I got, so I'm not complaining about that here. The movement finishing is, again, impressive, with ruthenium plated dark bridges decorated with fine Geneva stripes and hand-polished beveled angles, along with gold and rhodium plated wheels. But besides the most obvious points of appreciation, the caliber and the complexity of the case, the longer I spent filming this watch, twisting and turning, trying to find a good angle where the softbox doesn't show up in the crystals, I realized how incredibly impressive the case finishing is. It's not the selling point of this watch by any stretch. It's not something on the surface like a dial or even the movement that can be instantly appreciated on the first look. It's something I only picked up on after a while when going back and reviewing the photographs and the videos I took of the watch. The level of detail that has gone into the case finishing itself, especially this being a grade 5 titanium, makes this a genuine art piece, with the brushing and mirror polishing done at the highest level. Even the insides of the hollowed lugs are curved with inner beveling that can only be achieved by hand finishing. If you open up any article or previous videos done on the HM10 or any watch by MB&F, you'll find one of two extremes. One side thinks that the watch is bonkers and yet loves it, and the other side just thinks that the watch is bonkers. And Max Büsser himself has admitted in various interviews That's exactly the position that he wants the brand to be in. The anti-people pleaser, the anti-mainstream. Every great idea was once ridiculed. Even the highly coveted Paul Newman Daytonas or the first edition of the Royal Oaks took more than a decade to gain the icon status. So maybe watches like these are ahead of their time. Even though this is above the price bracket of many who'd want to own this, including myself, I'm just happy with the thought. Even the slightest possibility that the Bulldog's existence may end up inspiring many others to think outside the box and really get crazy and creative with modern watchmaking. And collectively, that's a win for all of us. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.